Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the HeelCast. Joining me tonight is the one, the only, the man, Goldberg. Goldberg, what's up, man?
What's going on, man? Probably biggest review we've had in, I don't know what, like 17 years, 18 years?
Yeah, man. I mean, looking at those Twitch numbers tonight. But anyways, it's me and Goldberg tonight riding this special edition of the HeelCast after Impact. We're going to get right into it. We're going to just cut the formality. We're just going straight into Impact because that's what we want to talk about. Goldberg, overall impression of the show itself, and then overall impression of the final 10 minutes.
Well, all right. I'm going to save my thoughts for the final 10 minutes till we reach that point.
Okay.
In the show. But the Impact portion of the show, I will say that I enjoyed a lot more than I have in previous weeks. And it may be, like we talked about before we came on the air, is it may be because there was no comedy, but I happened to enjoy this show a lot more than previous weeks.
And our first match that we started off, we had Josh Alexander versus Chris Sabin. Just looking at the Twitch chat, I think most people enjoyed this match. There's a lot of people who are just seeing Josh Alexander for the first time, which, if that's your first time seeing him, I feel bad for you because I've been watching this guy since the Twitch channel days when they would have the Twitch. I was
just going to ask you.
Exclusive events.
You probably were not happy with the outcome of this match.
I'm okay because I'm a huge Motor City Machine Gun. So, but I don't know if I like the North breaking up, though. And it kind of seems like we're going that way. Or at least it just makes me think that, Ethan's not going to re-sign, which I think would really suck right now. With all this momentum, Impact's tag team division looking, pretty decent. It's not the best it's ever been, but it's least stabilized. And if you were to lose the North, I think it kind of knocks it down a peg.
I'll tell you what would be cool, and it just popped into my head, is the North obviously got into a massive argument tonight. It definitely seems like they're headed for a breakup. It'd be pretty cool if Ethan Page showed up on AEW in the next, I don't think it'll be tomorrow because it's pre-taped, but maybe next week. And Ethan Page says, fuck this, going to the other show. I don't know, something like that,
Signs the Impact contract on Dynamite.
Yeah, just something crazy. It's something kind of where you start to see wrestlers cross over, maybe to the other show, and vice versa. I don't know, but they're definitely going to break up. There's no question. The North their days are numbered, and very, very numbered.
Yeah, I think this is kind of the storyline they had to do, unfortunately, because of the contract situation. But man, I think Impact, I almost think they got to re-sign him. Come on, they got some money freed up from losing the Rascals. They got to have something,
Rascals made money?
Yeah, they probably got paid minimum. Minimum contracts.
I like Ethan Page. I do. I really do. But like we talked about on last show, his social media is just him and Jordan Grace have this thing where they have to ruin kayfabe for me. Like whatever kayfabe is left, they have to ruin it. They're just ruining it. Like, you don't need to hear that you're a character or that you're. I think he's a good performer. I really do. And I think if he didn't activate on social media, he could be a top guy.
He's a solid performer. He could easily be a top guy. Especially the shape he's got into, and he's got the mic skills. His wrestling's pretty good as well. I just think, right now you need to re-sign him because you have a pretty solid tag team division, and if you're going up against AEW, you're going to need all the tag teams you can get. And the North is definitely one where guys look at, teams in AEW look at it and they're like, hey, I want to wrestle the North because these guys got a lot of hype about them. So I think that'd be a terrible loss right now if they lost Ethan Page just for that solo fact. So I don't know. I hope they can do something, but if they can't, I think Josh Alexander you gotta put him up in the main events because that's where a guy like him belongs. He can shine. Now he's not much in the mic skills department.
No,
but
he's none. He's got none.
He's when he comes out there, you can take him as credible.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
So,
And if he took, I don't know. I don't like those headphone things that he wears. Those wrestling things.
He actually has to wear that.
Oh, why is that?
He's got cauliflower ears. He's got like that's why he has to wear it because of that fact. So
it's either that or he wears a mask. He probably made the right choice.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So I don't know. I think it kind of makes him stand out, like Rick Steiner a little bit.
Yeah, that's but he's tough. Like he looks like a tough guy.
Right. Exactly.
Like, he looks like a guy you wouldn't fuck with. So
exactly. But really, really strong opener with Chris Sabin and Josh Alexander, with Chris Sabin getting the win. We also had Brian Myers versus TJP. Brian Myers has been kind of, picking on TJP the past couple weeks. I thought these guys had a solid match too. Brian Myers getting the victory. Your thoughts?
Yeah, this is the other guy that right now I have a problem with the way he's being booked, and it's Brian Myers. What are they doing with him? You tell me, please. What are they doing with him?
I don't really know. I mean, right now he's been wrestling a lot of the. I don't really want to call TJP an undercard guy though, because I feel like TJP
fought Hornswoggle. He fought Hornswoggle.
Well, yes, he did. He did fight Hornswoggle.
And not only did he fight him, they had a back and forth match. Like, am I supposed to take him credibly now? I can't.
You know, Brian Myers and Hornswoggle are like traveling buddies too, right?
So.
Well, because this relates to Ethan Page. You know how he does that vlog?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he had his latest vlog was like hanging out with them two, and they were going toy hunting. So I don't know. But like it goes to your comment on how those two, kayfabe.
Okay, but the thing is, I want Brian Myers. Like right now, Brian Myers could be the heavyweight champion. In my opinion,
he's got that size, and I think his mic skills are good. I don't know. I think he could definitely be a guy in that heavyweight division.
And he's big. He's got the look. He's got the mic skills. He should be doing more than just beating X division guys and little people.
Yeah, I mean, did you have a problem with tonight's match though?
Yeah, only because I don't want to see he's a heavyweight to me, and I don't want to see a heavyweight guy against an X division guy. I just don't want to see it. It just doesn't do it for me. In reality, to me, Brian Myers should beat the living shit out of TJP, and I like TJP, but that shouldn't be a match. I don't know. It doesn't do it for me. It doesn't do it for me, and it's only because I like Brian Myers and I want him in a better storyline. But they've almost ruined his entire character already for me by putting him in these stupid matches.
Wow. See, I think
he fought someone else before Hornswoggle that was ridiculous.
He fought Crazy Steve. He fought Crazy Steve 2 weeks ago.
I mean, these aren't top guys. With all due respect to Crazy Steve, these are not top guys that he's fighting. So he's really, I guess he's a mid-carder. Maybe I'm overthinking him, and he's just an average guy. Well,
I honestly don't mind it if they're doing a slow burn with him. Like they're just gonna, have him beat these guys and then slowly elevate him. I see you want him at the top already. Like you want him.
Well, not necessarily. I'm okay with the slow thing, but I don't want him fighting out of his division, out of his weight
Swaggle.
class, I guess you could say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I need to see him in the ring with, but then again, that goes back to our conversation where they don't have many heavyweights. So
Yeah,
who's he going to
they
be in the ring
don't.
with? I mean, at this point, who could match up against him if this was like a shoot? I mean, who could hang with him in real life?
I mean, what would you put Eddie Edwards in that category?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But Eddie Edwards
Sammy
is in a beatdown feud that we've seen 100 times, so he's busy right now.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I mean, yeah, he could go against guys like Moose, Joe Doring, Eric Young, Sammy Callahan, Eddie Edwards. But
is Joe Doring going to be an actual wrestler, or is he just Eric Young's lackey?
I think he's his bodyguard, sort of. You know,
you didn't like lackey for him, huh?
No. No.
I like him. He's got a
Joe Doring, man.
And his facial expressions are good.
His facial expressions are priceless, man.
He's believable to be this monster.
Yes.
But I hope they don't Wardlow him. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. 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 That was okay. Hiding in the corner during that battle royal they did on Dynamite. Yeah.
Just the fact that he became MJF's bitch. Like, Joe Doring is a fucking tough guy to me. Like, he should be whooping ass. Like,
well, and look where Joe Doring, I mean, I'm going to, around here, Joe Doring, he was, he's done a lot of events in the Midwest on the Midwest Indies, but he's basically Japan. I mean, he's
another Scott D'Amore guy too.
He is. Yeah. He took the Stan Hansen route and went to All Japan and, just did the strong style over there quite a bit. So he's like another Elgin kind of, where he, you bring him in and this guy's a freaking powerhouse.
Forgot about Big Mike.
I hope he comes back at some point.
Poor guy, man. It's fucked up what they did to him. But
have you seen his Twitter lately?
No, because he made it private.
He's been saying some stuff lately.
I can't see it anymore. Check. I think he made it private maybe like in the last day or two. Then.
Wow, I don't know.
Not allowing me to see it.
Did he block you?
No, because I logged out and just like searched his Twitter on my other Twitter account.
Here.
And I'm definitely not blocked. It just says this user is only allows certain people or something. Like I could tell if I was blocked. People have blocked me before.
Right now, Impact is trending number 5 on Twitter right now, and then the show's already over. So I didn't even see it.
It says these tweets are protected for Michael Elgin.
Yeah, I can still see him.
Maybe because I'm not following him. Yeah, I wasn't following him. Now it says pending. I bet if he accepts me, I could see it. You're probably following him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
Yep. That's why. Okay. Yeah, he's like had somebody take over his account, basically. So it's kind of weird, but I don't know. Hopefully the guy gets the help he needs, because he's another guy you can bring in and he's credible,
Absolutely.
Yep. But third match we had Cody Deaner versus Eric Young. We got some seriousness out of the Deaners tonight, which you normally don't see. Eric Young still gets the victory. Joe Doring and Eric Young kind of beat down on the Deaners afterwards, and then Rhino comes out for the save. You know what I loved about this? Rhino actually brought a lead pipe. I thought that was kind of funny, like a plumber's pipe. Did you notice that?
No, I didn't.
Okay. It's something you don't really see.
To this,
okay.
To this part.
So we're on the topic of Joe Doring and Eric Young. Do you like the duo, the pairing?
Yeah, I do like the pairing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to keep being negative, but I don't love what they've done with Eric Young, and I get it. Eric Young's so good at what he does to me, but like, I just think that they took the belt off him super quickly, and I think he lost. I think he lost another match recently. Who did he lose to more recently? After Rich Swann, he lost
after
again.
Rich Swann, yeah, he lost again.
Was it Eddie Edwards? Maybe.
I don't know. Like I gotta finish. Like it's I saw all for tonight.
Me, this is my problem with this, and I want to hear your thoughts on what I'm about to say. Here's my issue with guys like Eric Young and Eddie Edwards is they're very good at talking shit. They play great characters, but when you keep losing matches, I stop taking you seriously. And like you could, this is more towards Sami Callihan than Eric Young, but yeah, Sami Callihan just doesn't stop talking shit. It's great. It worked. It works for his character, but we've seen it, and you lose every match. I got to see something else, and I'm afraid Eric Young's headed in that direction. However, I mean, he won tonight, but okay, he beat a Diener, so
yeah,
I'm not that impressed.
But Cody,
I'm worried he's headed in the Sami Callihan direction. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I hope not. I really hope not. I hope he wins quite a bit now, especially with having Joe Doring by his side. I mean, I hope those guys.
Do you think that Sami Callihan? Do you think what I said about Sami is true, or you don't look at it that way?
No, I've been saying that about Sami Callihan for the last 2 years. Like he's kind of Mick Foley in the sense where he loses all the time, but he still looks credible. That's what I thought of Sami. He's the guy that doesn't always need to win, but I do agree with you though. I think he lost more than he should have.
Yeah, and like this is my thing with him is like I'm almost putting him in the same category as like all right, since AEW and Impact are doing this little partnership, we could throw a little AEW wrestlers in this. MJF, I was so high on him, but now I feel like we've seen everything he has to offer. He's not giving us anything new, MJF, and the same with Orange Cassidy, who I couldn't stand from the beginning, but people like him. Is his act with the hands in the pockets? It ran dry pretty quickly. Like we've seen what you do. Yep, you put your hands in your pockets, you fake kick people, and then you get serious and you can wrestle, man. We've seen it. Like the act is old, and to me, Sammy's act is stale. It's just stale right now because we've seen it so many times.
Yeah, I totally agree. I thought the ICU thing was such a flop.
Yeah, that's stupid.
You know what I am enjoying though? I am enjoying him making Ken Shamrock like the Attitude Era Ken Shamrock. I enjoyed him kicking the crap out of Swan. I did you see that match? Shamrock versus Swan?
I think Swan, I mean, he lost though, right? Shamrock?
Well, it was DQ'd. It wasn't. It was just kind of a DQ. Yeah.
I don't think I saw that match then. But
yeah. It was pretty good.
But I didn't watch the actual match.
It was Shamrock's best match, I think, since he's come back. But and he's suspended for 30 days. So, but
he needs a break. He's been on TV every week.
Right. And then Sammy told him to go take a vacation to Florida or something. I don't know.
Like here, don't get me wrong with Sammy is a good talker and he is a good character, but I think something else has to happen with him. Like something else. The mean guy who just hates everyone and beats everyone. Like it's to me, it's ran its course. That's all.
Yeah, I didn't think his promo was that great. I was expecting a little better from him tonight, and I don't think he had one of the greater promos tonight. But I guess he's doing the whole feud with Eddie Edwards again. That feud was awesome. Don't get me wrong, but trying to strike lightning twice, it's going to be pretty hard.
Like it's literally the same thing. Now with Alishay coming out and yelling at Ed, just bring Tommy Dreamer out and have let's just reenact the entire feud.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Exactly.
Let Eddie turn on Alishay and Tommy, beat them both up, and we've seen it all.
Right. We'll go through all the matches and then we'll talk about the cross promotion type stuff. But Fourth match was our Knockouts Tag Team Title Tournament. First off, before I really review this, what are your thoughts so far? This Knockouts Tag Tournament.
I thought it was pretty cool that Jazz came back.
Yes.
That's cool, even though she looks different.
I've been loving this tournament, though. I think the tournament's been really well. I like how they're doing one match a week.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine. And
they're not shooting their load up, 2 matches a night.
That's true. But the tag team, I don't need to see more than one women's match a week anyway. So, but that. I think the tag team they picked the good tag teams, but I don't know Deonna Purrazzo, she is the women's champ now, right?
Yes, she beat Su Yung. Yep.
She didn't need to be in this tournament to lose in the first round. She didn't need to be in it. But other than that, I think all the teams are all pretty credible. So yeah, yes. I'm actually they're putting pretty much everyone in the tournament is being put over. So even if you're losing, just because you're in the tournament. So
I really enjoyed not so much the Sea Stars. I wasn't really impressed with them. They were, but I enjoyed.
Who did Nevaeh and Havoc wrestle?
They wrestled. Oh gosh,
Is it the Tasha team? No.
Tasha. No, it was. Oh boy. Okay, so Sea Stars fought Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz. That was that one. Then
okay, I also want to say something about. Oh, tell me. What was it?
So it was. I'm trying to think. So it was Renee Michelle, who's freaking hot as hell, by the way. Oh my god, nice pole rock star spud.
Did they fight? Was Tennille Dashwood in? Was it Tennille
Yes. It was Tennille Dashwood and Alicia Edwards versus Havoc and Nevaeh.
All right, so real quick, because I don't want to stick on this for too long, but a couple thoughts I have on a couple of these women is one. I don't know what your thought. What do you think of Tennille Dashwood, real quick?
I like Tennille Dashwood.
You think her promos come off as like they're a little cringe to me?
Maybe it's the Aussie accent.
But so, like I don't know. Like it just doesn't come off as genuine to me. But okay, put her aside for a second. Tasha and Tasha Steelz. What's her partner's name?
Kiera Hogan.
Kiera Hogan. Yeah. Do they really have to be the obligatory ghetto girls?
Yeah.
I mean, why? Because they're black. Like, can't they just be like two girls? Like, do they have to be like I don't know. It just comes off as so like cliche to me.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I don't know. What other gimmick would you put them as though? I mean, Kiera Hogan when she came in, remember, she's just a nice girl.
Heels. No, they could be heels. I'm cool with them being heels, but like, they have to be like ghetto heels. Like the way they talk. I don't know. Whatever.
It's wrestling, though. We've had so many stereotype gimmicks throughout the history.
That's true. That is true. But hey, it's 2020. We're supposed to be PC.
There you go. Jazz coming back though. That was pretty cool. She still looks good too. Like in the ring.
No, in the ring she looks great.
Yeah, the ball. I don't know if I'm digging the ball. Her being bald, but in the ring, man, she could still go at 48. That was pretty impressive. But yeah,
let me hear before we move on from the women. Let me hear your one woman of all time who you had a crush on. Who do you think the hottest women wrestler of all time?
Gosh, there was so many. Like I liked Miss.
I'm gonna tell you who's aged the best before you answer. Who still looks unbelievable. Let's see if we agree.
The crush I had was Tori Wilson.
Hey, you hit it. That's it.
All right. All right.
That was it. How good
Yep.
did she look when she came back?
It's still a 10.
I think she looks
Still
better
a
now
10.
than she did then.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
is just she is a knockout.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Yeah, I agree. By the way, did you see the Sue Young stuff a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
You saw her come out as Susie and Sue Young? That
Yeah,
was
I don't know.
pretty cool.
How'd they do that?
I don't know if they did like a side by side with the camera thing or what, but that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering how they did that.
Yeah, that was really cool.
How about Major Guns? You think she looks like that?
Probably not too good. Oh man. Yeah. I wasn't that big of a fan of hers.
You
ever
don't like
really.
Major Guns?
Nah, I mean she was okay. What was she in the Misfits in Action, right? Yeah.
I sat on Stacy Keibler's lap in the old WCW days. I met her.
Really?
And yeah, I was
nice.
I was a kid. I met her at the Nitro Grill in Vegas.
No, oh, gosh, the Nitro Grill, man! I wish I would have went there.
Yeah,
man, that's freaking awesome.
Took a picture with her. My sister took a picture with David Flair.
So that was the Nitro Grill came out before WWE New York, didn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah.
WWE totally copied that idea then.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. I remember. You could still see the menu like online. It's so funny. The all the food is like named after the wrestlers and stuff.
That's
really funny.
So like in the inside, did they just play like matches of WCW and stuff?
Yeah, it was almost
sports
like
bar,
a really nice sports bar.
Yeah,
like an upscale sports bar. Yeah, and they just had like TV, like almost. Have you been to Hogan's? You've been to Hogan's Beach Shop?
Yes.
Yeah, so you know they play wrestling they just repeat wrestling in there all day. But yeah, it was just they had a meet and greet because the Nitro Girl had just opened, and we happened to be there on vacation. So there was my father turned me on to wrestling, so there was no way we weren't going to go.
I almost kind of think like TNA dropped the ball being at Universal Studios and not getting a City Walk restaurant.
Yeah,
I think that would have went really well.
Something, yeah, anything, some kind of attraction of some sort.
Yes, I mean I'm sure it's not cheap to get a
but
property.
You know what? They were an attraction themselves. If you kind of think about it, they weren't. They were not a wrestling show. They were an attraction. I mean, I went to the park so many times, and walked by them begging people, handing out tickets to come to the show, and like I almost felt sorry. Like I don't know. I went to it as a fan, and people were going to it as an attraction.
Yes. I remember they had a Hulk. Right when Hulk came, they had his billboard like, huge on a building.
Yeah. Yeah. But they didn't have to give away tickets when Hogan was there. They didn't have to then.
They had to turn people away. I don't
care what people can talk shit all they want about that era of TNA, but they were, I mean, I guess you could say selling out the arena, even though it was free. There was not an open seat to be had.
No, not at all. I mean, my experience was in 2005. I mean, I went there a couple times, but in 2005, we went there for Destination X. And the only reason we got in because we befriended a guy who was part of the TNA street team. He got us in. Yeah. So that was it. That was really the only reason. That was the night Steiner showed up. So, yeah, first night Steiner shows up. Pretty cool.
Is that what's the coolest? Okay, we're getting off track. But what's the coolest return you've seen live in person?
Oh gosh, man, I don't know if I saw a lot of returns, but I probably would have to be Steiner. Like, in person, I think in person.
Did you pop? I mean, did you? Oh
God, yeah. I was with my dad. Like, he was a huge Steiner fan. Yeah, we both did.
Did you? Oh, you knew he was going to be there, or you didn't?
Well, no, there was some speculation. Like, we were in the crowd for 3 hours because this was a pay-per-view. It was a long line to get in. And a lot of people were talking like, oh, this guy might show up or this guy might show up. And we all knew Steiner was a free agent because he got released by WWE like, a few months prior. So we all knew it was a possibility.
I saw Chris Jericho return in Miami when he came back to the WWE.
What year?
That night. The one, I gotta.
Was that 07?
Look it up. It was 07.
Okay.
It was 07.
Okay, that was
because
cool.
I was in
Break
high school,
the code. Yeah, I remember
that was it. That was it. I was that one, and then I saw Hall and Nash come back to Impact at some point, probably to the early 2010s or something.
Well, I'll tell you what speaking of Hall and Nash, one of my favorite surprises was I went to Lockdown 2010. It was supposed to be Nash and Six-Pac versus Team 3D.
And Six-Pac couldn't perform.
Yep. Yeah. So it turned out to be the Outsiders versus Team 3D, cool. Which is way better. Cool. That was a dream match. I got to see it live. So
you know what I find myself when those guys come out like Steiner or Nash or Hall, and the crowd in the Impact Zone is I find myself cheering extra loud, man, to make them feel like, hey, there are people in this crowd who appreciate what you've done for this. We're here.
Yes.
We're happy you're coming out, man. And,
yes.
I mean, people. I was at a show when Hall and Nash came out, and they were chanting "same old shit," and I swear to you, I was trying to do a dueling chant with them, like "you still got it" or something. I can't remember exactly what I was saying, but
right,
it's just so disrespectful because
what
those guys have done for the business, and I mean, I'm a mark for them, so
right.
What am I gonna say? But all right, man. My bad. We got way off track there.
No, that's fine. But going back to the knockouts, though, the tournament I think has been really well done.
All right, pick a winner.
I'm glad Ty and Rosemary won, though. Oh gosh, this is tough. It really is, because it's like, okay, you got Havoc and Nevaeh, who I thought might have been front runners, but then they added Jordan Grace and Jazz, and then I
didn't like that Havoc and Nevaeh lost in the first round. That's what I was trying to wait. No, they didn't lose.
No, they're still in it. They beat Alicia and Tennille Dashwood.
So they're fighting. Havoc and Nevaeh are fighting
Jordan Grace and Jazz next round. Because Jordan Grace and Jazz beat Renee Michelle and Killer Kelly. Did you like Killer Kelly, by the way? I thought she was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Impact should sign her.
Tasha's fighting Rosemary and Taya.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Rosemary and Taya against Jazz and Jordan Grace.
I think so too. I
actually think Jordan Grace and Jazz are going to win.
They might, because isn't Taya's contracts coming up too?
That I don't know. I just think I don't know. You bring Jazz back, I think they're going to win. But
I think Taya resigns though, because I know she was pushing hard for the Knockouts tag titles,
and she's good. Like she can't be that expensive to keep around, I wouldn't think.
You wouldn't think, but I remember Paige was trying to lure her to the WWE, but and her husband's there, but
she's busting out of that top Taya every week.
Yeah, I know. I know. I actually think if Taya resigns, I think Taya and Rosemary win.
I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it. I think I'd rather see them win, honestly, even though I like Jazz, because Jordan Grace, as much as I like Jazz, Jordan Grace brings it down for me.
Right. I'm glad she's actually teaming with somebody I like, so it's kind of enjoyable.
She's so bad.
I like the Knockouts tournament, and I love the fact that the titles are coming back. It's about time.
Yeah.
So, okay. So then we had the main event, which was the tag team match with Moose and Chris Bay versus Rich Swann and Willie Mack.
Yeah.
Moose was great though. Power bombing Chris Bay onto Willie Mack or Rich Swann. I can't remember who was on, but Moose, this serious Moose has been pretty good though.
Moose should be that. He should be the heavyweight champion right now. He should be the one that was going up to that back door and trying to get through it, and because he would be throwing a fit. I mean, he's good. He's just a great wrestler and a great character, and he fits the picture of champion
He does.
Does he not?
He does.
And he can talk. I mean, we've seen him be sarcastic. We've seen him talk shit. He's got it. And what are they waiting for? Just do it already.
I'm really wondering if there's still like that whole TNA. They were going to bring it back before COVID, and I keep reading reports that it's still on the table. So I think like there's a reason he's got that title. There's a reason for it. So I don't know if they're waiting for the right opportunity once COVID's over to bring TNA back and do a second brand, but there'd be no reason to keep that title on him if they weren't going to do something with it.
This was a good match, though, wasn't it?
It was. Chris Bay finally has started to get some character, like
but
where
he belongs nowhere near a heavyweight title match.
No, he doesn't. He
just doesn't. I'd sooner put Willie Mack, who takes every pin and never wins a match, before I put Chris Bay.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But Willie Mack.
This is why they need a mid-card title besides the X division, because it's like you could put guys like Willie Mack in there, and you could elevate guys like Brian Myers, and I don't know if they could just come up with something.
What I go back to again is that I don't want to see Moose in a match with three. Who was his partner again?
He had Chris Bay.
Chris Bay, yeah. I don't want. I don't need to see Moose in a match with three X division guys. I just don't need to see it. I want to see a heavyweight tag title match, kind of like Moose teaming up with
the big guys.
I don't even know who he could team up with, because there's fucking no. I don't even know who else would be his partner. But let Moose and someone else take on the Good Brothers. That's a main event match. I don't need to see Chris Bay and Willie Mack, who can't win a match. Either one of them can't win a match. And I guess, okay, Rich Swann's your champ right now, but it doesn't do it for me. I want to see a heavyweight tag title match.
My thoughts on Swann. I like the guy. I think he's done some really good stuff. But I totally get what you're saying.
Wipe the floor with him in like.
Oh yeah, he would. He definitely would. You got guys that you could have feuds with. You could have Moose feud with. It's just, I don't know. I mean, he's facing at Final Resolution, isn't he? He's facing Willie Mack, isn't he? Again, I think he's facing Willie Mack.
Well, that's just a waste of time.
Yeah, he's gonna win. Moose is gonna win that.
Of course, but it's like also their storylines in general. Before we get to the end of the show, their storylines in general, I'm just not a fan of. I don't get why Eddie Edwards won at Slammiversary. For what reason? He got the belt. Eric Young beat him. Now he's back to feuding with Sami Callihan, so he's nowhere near the heavyweight picture anymore. Eric Young had the belt. He lost it quickly to Rich Swann. Now he's nowhere near the heavyweight title picture anymore. It's just, the storylines are so weird. Like, they're just weird.
They are weird. They like, it's like they're mixing all the heavyweights with the cruiserweights, which is weird.
Yeah,
like they don't. The only heavyweight feud they got going on again is Sammy versus Eddie.
And here's what's okay. Let's talk about guys who weren't on the show. Okay, the Good Brothers were not on the show. They should have been.
That is shocking.
But put them aside. Where's Ace Austin and Madman Fulton been?
Yeah, what are they doing? What are they doing with them two?
These are two guys that need to be on the show. Madman Fulton should be. They could have been in the main event.
Yeah, they could have.
Introduce the new
I don't understand. They haven't been on in a while.
If you're an AEW fan, I mean, try to picture this because I know it's hard. But if you're an AEW fan and you're tuning in and you see that main event, are you really impressed with that main event? Because I'm not.
I don't know. Like when I was watching on Twitch, I saw a lot of people like the guys in there. They were commenting.
That's turning you on to watching this program every week? That Rich?
No, I don't think it's going to turn. I mean, it might have gotten some of them. But I think
you want to get heat. You got to get heat in that main event, and I get it. The end of the show kind of was the heat, but you got to get some heat in that main event. And I think, Moose is a guy that could do it, but Ace and Madman, they get heat.
Yeah, they would have. If they would have interfered or something.
Let them come in and just beat everyone up or something.
What's the long? Okay, let's play a little guessing game before we get in that AEW stuff. What's the long-term goal for Hard to Kill? Because we got that next month already, and that's one of the big four. So,
Well, I mean, where do you want to start? Where do you want to begin?
I mean, let's start with the heavyweight title. Like Swan's got to be going up against Moose, right?
Moose. It's got to be.
It's got to be Moose.
I think we're on the same page there.
Yeah.
And now they're putting them in a angle at least. At least they're in the same angle. They were in the same match, so they're getting close.
Yes.
It's got to be Moose.
Yes.
It's got to be.
Yeah. I don't see who else it could be.
That's one of your major 4 pay-per-views. Moose he's got to take the belt.
Yep.
I know you like Rich Swann, but yeah.
No, I think he's a transitional champion. I think he's got to lose it to Moose.
But then I say to myself, is the old TNA did build X Division stars to become heavyweights.
Yes, they did.
Have AJ Styles began in the X Division.
So did Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe, yeah, but he was a bigger. I mean,
he was a big guy. Yeah.
He was just multi-talented. I mean, the guy could do anything. But Chris Sabin, who was a heavyweight champion, started in the X Division. They even Petey Williams back then was believable that he can compete with heavyweights. Like they had so many guys that started in the X Division. Christopher Daniels, Kazarian, so many guys that were X Division guys that became stars. So that's the only part of me that wants to give Rich Swann a chance to be the heavyweight champ is because he's not much smaller than any of those guys. I don't think, right, in stature, and which is why I wanted Ace Austin to be featured too, because he's to me he's a good character and he's a good heel. He's got a good look. He's disappeared, so that's. I mean, let's go to X Division. What do you think?
Oh, gosh! Now with Rohit's open challenge, who did he taunt tonight? TJP again?
Yeah, again.
Yeah, they're building it for TJP to win it. Yeah,
I think he's gonna lose it, Rohit. He's had it for a while now.
He has, and then he's getting real cocky. I think TJP takes it. Tag team. Is it just the Guns versus Good Brothers? Probably.
Yeah, I don't see the Good Brothers losing.
No, they're gonna hold that thing for a while because who knows where they'll get put in the next couple months. Dude, I still don't get what. Okay, we got to bring up one negative thing here because this doesn't make sense. The Who Shot Bravo stuff with Lawrence D. Did you see it was? Did you see it was Lawrence D? But he said he was set up.
I didn't see it. Tell me what happened because I read it. I read that it was Larry D, but I didn't.
They had wrestler
Lawrence
court.
D or Larry D? So are we talking?
So Lawrence D was the guy that shot Bravo because he got the spray, that turns him in. Remember, he was he was in Wrestle House. He was obsessed with Rosemary. So
yeah, okay.
He said that that's why he did it, but he was set up. Somebody made him turn into Lawrence D, basically. So he said he was set up. That he's having a match.
Rosemary.
Yes. No. Why? Yeah. Maybe it was Rosemary.
Well, she's the one that turned him into Lawrence D in the
Lawrence
first place.
D.
So why?
That's right.
Why?
Yeah. That's probably what we'll find out. Yeah. Well, Rosemary admitted that she didn't really like Johnny Bravo either. So.
Oh man, sorry. We'll find out next week on the Bold and the Beautiful.
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
I'll pass. My interest in that angle is 0. But
yeah, that's a filler. Oh man, that's a filler angle if there wasn't one.
Funny they didn't put it on tonight though. Funny.
They did a little bit. There was that backstage segment with Dreamer.
No, but they've been having 10-minute segments on this.
Oh yeah. No, it was like what, a minute, if that, 30 seconds. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. That's kind of where I'm getting at with Hard to Kill, though. But they could also do cross promotion stuff too. So I'm gonna wait to see what happens tomorrow with Don Callis. So now you heard the rumors with Don Callis leaving to AEW. I don't think that's actually true. I think he's an executive vice president that happens to be really good friends with Omega and Jericho and set this whole AEW partnership up. So I think the dirt sheets got that one way wrong. They also said it was going to be a one-off, and that clearly is not going to be the case.
Is it that clear?
You think that was it?
No, I don't think that's
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Something's going to happen tomorrow. They wouldn't. They cannot. There's no way they could build this thing up like this and have it amount to nothing. They just can't.
Yeah, that they gave so many teases tonight. So why don't we get into that then?
Yeah.
Let's get into the teases. The first tease was Tommy Dreamer talking to Scott D'Amore about, hey, you sure you want to do this type of thing?
Right.
So there's clearly going to be a big storyline with this.
Yes.
That's what I'm. Then we also had Tony Khan and Tony Schiavone pay for an advertisement and subliminally or take their subtle jabs at Impact.
I like the callback to Tony Schiavone's appearance on TNA in 2002.
Yes, that was pretty good because, man, if you would have blinked, you would have missed that.
I remember his appearance very vividly.
Do you know the story behind that, by the way?
His appearance in 2002?
His exit. Did you know him and Mike Tenay have heat?
Mike Tenay, yes. I was going to say that. Was it Mike Tenay?
How the frick do those two have heat with each other?
I didn't know that was legit.
I didn't either. For all those years working in WCW together?
How could someone not like Mike Tenay? He seems like the nicest guy in the world.
No kidding. No kidding. Like, how do those two have heat?
God, I'd love to see apparently, Mike Tenay back on my TV.
That's why Schiavone is like no longer like that's why he left, I guess, after one show. Like he had heat with Tenay.
Well, weren't they who was Schiavone arguing with when he appeared in TNA on that one night? I thought it was Tenay, was it not?
Yeah, I think so. And that's what led to his departure. I'd have to go back and see. Have to go look at that again, but maybe I could just look on his Wikipedia page too. It might say there, but but yeah, Tony Khan, like when he actually brought that up, I was actually kind of impressed because he's actually like linking history. I mean, here's the thing too, like Impact, they played all that AEW footage tonight. They did them, a pretty solid job.
Yeah.
That's
why it can't be a one-off either.
It's not. Tony Khan, he said he's going to scout some tag teams, and he even joked about buying the company.
I would not want that to happen. Let's just hope that's a joke.
That is not going to happen. That's just Mark talk.
I want to see Dixie Carter come back out and say, "Buy it. This is still my fucking company. You're not buying anything."
That would be great.
Me and Hulk still own this thing.
Right. She comes out like nothing's happened in the last 8 years. Yeah.
But Tony Khan is a huge Hulk Hogan mark, I heard. So maybe the Hulkster has one last appearance left in him.
See, now this is where it's kind of weird though. Like those two kind of played like they were heels. But yet they're still like, okay, Kenny, you're invited to my show, even though you're on my roster. And Don Callis, you're invited too. Like, I don't understand. Like, you didn't like how Kenny Omega won the belt, but then you're trying to be the heel to Impact kind of with the subtle jabs, which is fine because it's going to set up to something. But it's just not very, like, cohesive. You know what I mean?
Here's my problem, and this is AEW's issue and not Impact, is their like leadership. Okay, Tony Khan's the owner, we get that, but like they've put Kenny Omega, Cody Rhodes, and the Young Bucks as what are their titles?
They basically, they're EV. I think they're the same as Don Callis and Impact, executive vice president.
So they're president, vice president, whatever they are. So like we know they have like say in the company, and they've made that clear on screen too. They've talked about the Young Bucks. Oh, we're going to give this team a shot because we can basically like they've made it
Mhm.
clear like who's in, so like I don't know for like Tony Khan to come on that first of all the ad was cool. I'm cool with them like taking out an ad on Impact TV like that's fine. But
Yes.
like where is Cody Rhodes? Where are the Young Bucks? And where is I think we're missing one more guy. I think there's one more guy other than Kenny Omega. No, maybe not.
Mega Rhodes, the
Not
Bucks,
Adam Page, is
and
it? No.
uh, yeah,
Okay.
I don't think
So even
so.
if it's Rhodes and Young Bucks, like, okay, now are we supposed to forget that they're like in the higher up of the company? Like, is this just now
Yeah.
Tony Khan's the only one that cares about it, and now Cody Rhodes doesn't give a shit?
But by the way, you might know this question better than I would. Was that Tony Khan's like first appearance on TV?
No, they've
So
showed
he's
him
been on AEW before.
not as a not in that regards. They show him backstage, like on the like computer with a headset on. So like
Okay.
they've mentioned him and they say Tony Khan. That's like like he's an on-screen character, but he's never actually formally taken that large of a appearance before. I mean that was
So that was like a character almost.
that was a character, right?
That was a Dixie Carter character.
That was a Dixie Carter, absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. He just became a character. He just became a character.
Okay, so you got him being a heel. You have Don Callis and Kenny Omega heels, but yet they're not on Tony Khan's page. It almost makes it seem like Impact's the good guys right now, and they're going through the adversity of trying to fend off Kenny Omega and try to fend off Tony Khan. No? Is that not weird?
No, it's well, right now, what is Impact's representation? The only representation Impact has is Don Callis. Nobody else has. Okay, maybe Scott D'Amore had that conversation with Tommy Dreamer, but nobody really has stepped to the forefront, I guess, to defend Impact. It's Don Callis. Don Callis is kind of Impact's representation.
Yeah,
isn't he?
yeah, that's true. Well,
and he's clearly a heel, so
yeah,
right now everybody looks like heels, which is what Jim Cornette always mentions is who's the heel, who's the face. We got to have a face here,
right?
Who's the face going to be? Who's the good guy? Who are we rooting for?
Well, I guess that leads us to our next segment then. Rich Swann getting blocked from going out in the parking lot. So there was something there too, right? Are we teasing a Kenny Omega versus Rich Swann match? Because that's what it seemed like.
I mean, I guess.
I mean, Josh Matthews is involved, right?
Yeah. I don't know. He needs to ask Madison's opinion on this. I don't know.
But
yeah, I don't know. I guess okay, maybe there was something there. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I think they're teasing a slow tease. I mean, you heard Kenny Omega during the interview with Josh Matthews say that he got the Superman of the belts. Now he wants he name dropped AAA. AEW has a partnership with AAA, and they also have a partnership now with Impact, and he called Impact the Spider-Man. So, yeah, right there. I mean, that's clear. I think right there that just kind of it was such a small tease, but you wanted them to do something big. I totally get that. But I also don't mind this real small, slow burn because you have to understand it's two companies. They're not the same company like when we had the first invasion with WWE and WCW. So this is like, you're probably going to get real small before you get into the heavy stuff. But give me your thoughts on that whole situation.
The whole segment and the whole segment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, before I touch on the entire segment, do you wish it was somebody other than Kenny Omega, or is that just me?
See, I'm trying to think like Jarrett. I'm trying to think if I'd want it to be Jericho.
Not in the shape he's in.
Yeah, he's too old. No offense to him, but
Okay, what about Adam Page? Because he's good. He's a star in the making.
I honestly don't mind that it's Omega just because of the long-term story that they built with Callis and Omega, though.
Okay, that's fair. All right, so
I
let's
like
talk about
that.
the segment. The segment itself. I can't be the only one who thinks Kenny Omega can't talk.
Yeah, I didn't think it was very good.
He just looks out of place. He looks like he's trying too hard. He looks like he doesn't come off as a natural heel at all. He doesn't have natural heel. He's just a guy. He looks like a guy and comes off and talks and cuts promos like a guy who should be wrestling in Japan.
Yes. I agree.
He's talking like it just doesn't come off as genuine. When Eric Young talks, it's genuine. I feel like he's really a fucking asshole.
Yep.
It's not. Kenny Omega didn't come off as Mr. Hollywood who's trying to change the landscape of the wrestling business, which is why I mentioned, should it be someone else, even like someone like MJF, who's probably not ready yet, but is Kenny Omega ready? I mean, the segment to me was weak. I think everybody tuned in. They got everybody to tune in. They got everybody to wait around till the end of the show. But I understand your slow play thing. Fair, but
yeah.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I just think it's a super slow burn because they're going to have they want to keep that audience now. They want to keep them to go tomorrow to Dynamite. And then they're going to do a hook on Dynamite to make you watch Impact next Tuesday. I think it's just going to be real small. They're going to do bits and pieces just to keep this thing going. That's my guess.
I think you hit the nail on the head with one thing. Not one thing. You hit the nail on the head quite often. But with this thing, the Good Brothers need to appear on AEW TV, like Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, and maybe jump the railing or do something. Because we always compare them to Hall and Nash, right? We always say they're kind of like that. Needs to happen on AEW, and that would set off an interesting. That's going to make both people want to watch both shows. That right there.
No? Okay, so AEW has this Blood and Guts match coming up soon, right? Or they were gonna have like a show called Blood and Guts, which I think was supposed to be their version of War Games. You know, Impact also has Lockdown, obviously, that got canceled this year, unfortunately. But you could do a type of match like that, and it would be really freaking good because it's like you got two companies now instead of like two factions like you normally had. This is what it could set up for it.
But I'm with you. That needs to be the payoff. The actual match needs to be the payoff. So like I'm okay with waiting until they actually fight each other in a sanctioned match. I just think the Good Brothers should appear and maybe hop the railing and kick some ass.
Oh, that would be awesome. That would be great. Just like an unannounced, and then here they are. And that's exactly what could happen too.
It's not. I don't think it's going to happen tomorrow because I think it would have been leaked since it's taped and there were fans. There's still fans.
You're right. You're right. There's fans. There's fans there. They could do a promo.
I don't want to see a promo. I want to see them appear and jump the rail and beat someone up, or maybe beat Kenny Omega up while he's cutting a promo in the ring. Something like that. But like, I just need to see something happen before I judge this. I don't want to judge it, but Kenny Omega he's just nothing to me. He doesn't do anything for me.
That would be awesome though, because notice how Tony Khan dropped the tag team line. He dropped tag teams, like he was scouting tag teams. So that's why I think the Good Brothers are going to be involved in this somehow.
God, they could change. They have such an opportunity right now to literally change the landscape of the wrestling business.
They do.
Like, and here's my problem again with more stuff that they were saying with Kenny Omega. Like they act like they did something crazy already. Like they haven't done anything yet.
Right.
So let's cool it with saying they're calling it the screw job of the century. What did you do? For years, we've seen people cheat in heavyweight in championship matches and hit people with a microphone or hit people with a chair. We've seen it for years. You haven't done anything yet.
The only thing that they've done is they've made a partnership.
Yeah, they've appeared on
I
the
mean,
on another company's TV show, but
right.
I mean, they were talking about the match itself as if they pulled some big kind of screw job over it. They didn't do anything that crazy. People
Had
cheat
a
all the time in
microphone.
matches.
That was it.
I mean, big deal.
Right. That was it.
And it's
I,
not even like he tossed him the microphone. He dropped it, and Kenny Omega took advantage and picked it up.
right. Exactly.
It
Exactly.
didn't even look planned. It didn't even look like it's not like he tossed him like, okay, here, hit him with this. Like, no, he got knocked down and it happened to roll into Kenny Omega's hands.
The only reason why this could work is because if you think about it, Impact is basically Access TV. They own it. The Anthem, there's no bridges to cross or there's no hoops to jump through. They can literally, this partnership can work because they can do whatever they want. You know what I mean? Like if there's nobody that Impact has to run anything through because they own the network. So if they want Tony Khan on there, they can do it.
Yeah.
So, I think that's one thing that's pretty cool. But on the same token, going back to what your comment is yeah, they haven't done anything yet. But I think it's just going to make you want to tune in to see if something does happen because
I think that Tony Khan's segment was better than the final segment.
I agree. I think we got more out of that.
It was more important. Yeah.
I think he got more heel heat than Kenny Omega did it. Don Callis cut a good promo, but
Don Callis should be the champ, not Kenny Omega. I mean, Kenny Omega, he's just a guy. Like what he's a I could totally see him being like the Japanese champ. I could see it.
What does this lead to though? Because I'm trying to think so you got Kenny and you got Don, and then you got Tony Khan now kind of stepping into it, and then you got Scott D'Amore. You got one little thing from him. So is this? Oh, you know what this could be? This could be like a triple threat feud too.
With D'Amore being the
Impact.
Third guy?
You could have Impact. You could have possible Bullet Club type thing going on, and then you could have AEW. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
That would be to me. That would be a great outcome.
That'd be interesting because, yeah, possible. That's only if the Good Brothers are going to join up with Kenny Omega.
But the funny part, you got to wonder, like, to what extent is this gonna go to? Like, where does it end? Because where is this intertwining the companies going to end? Because you still have so many guys like, okay, Rich Swann was kind of a part of it tonight, a little bit, but like,
yeah, Rich Swann too.
Let's go back to the AEW side, and you got Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks. Now you have Sting coming back, and he's going to talk tomorrow. Like, are they going to just ignore the fact that the companies are in it? Like, is Sting going to just completely ignore the fact that AEW is working with Impact and that there's something going? Like, are they just going to keep doing their own angles? And the only person involved in the multi angles right now is Kenny Omega. Like, so they're going to have. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, they're going to have their own storylines unopposed to the fact that right now two companies are kind of working together. Like, is Sting here just for the Cody Rhodes? He's just helping Cody Rhodes and Darby Allin, and he's going to feud with Taz's group. Like, so they're all in their own world, and they have no idea what's going on with Kenny Omega. You know what I mean?
You're right. Yeah, I don't know how Sting's going to be involved. Are they going to use? They're probably going to use. Do you think they're going to use some Sting footage on Dynamite?
I am holding out whole pearls, and I think you'd be with me on this one. Please bring back Kurt Angle, and let's get a main event Mafia, like some kind of main event Mafia. And first of all, would you want to see that?
Oh, definitely. But you could get Steiner. You get Steiner back.
You could get. I don't think they do that, but
they
could get Steiner back. But I feel like if they could do something like that, and I think was the NWA champ? He was in it. Magnus?
He was the second version. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yep.
Sting, I don't know if you ever read, but Sting was super high on him and thought he was going to be the next big thing. I don't know if you ever read that. Sting thought
No.
Magnus was literally the next superstar in wrestling, and like for years to come, he was going to be the next guy. But I want, like, okay, it also, if Sting is in some kind of angle where he's in a group, it also would allow him to be in a match where like he's not doing too much, you know? So because like everybody's worried, should he get back in the ring? Like I don't give a shit. I want to see him back in the ring. Like I don't.
He is going to wrestle. There was a report that
Yeah,
says
and
he
like
is going to wrestle. Yeah.
I don't care. Like everybody, oh, he shouldn't wrestle. He got hurt. Like he let the man make his own decisions, and I selfishly want to see him back in the ring.
Yeah, no, I agree. But now, if he's in this war between the two companies, which side is he? I mean, he's got to be on AEW's side now.
See, but I don't think he is in the war. That's why I brought it up. Is I think he's involved in this Cody Rhodes, Brian Cage type angle. That's why I'm wondering: are all the storylines going to intertwine, or are we just Eric Young ignored it tonight? So like, are we just going to ignore certain storylines are going to be involved and certain storylines aren't? I guess.
That's a good question. I mean, the only thing you can really compare it to is Ring of Honor and New Japan's working relationship. But that, to me, it's just like they only just do matches, right? There's really no feuds there.
But you could argue, other than AJ Styles, Sting is the biggest superstar in Impact history.
Yeah, I mean, Angle.
Sting, Joe. I think Sting, maybe Samoa Joe, maybe AJ and Joe, but I think Sting got to be in the top 5.
Yeah, there's no question.
So could they really ignore when you have an angle going on with Impact? Could you really ignore Sting's history with them?
No, and that's why I'm saying, like, do you think they're clearly they're going to allow AEW to have the footage? Are they going to play Sting's footage from Impact tomorrow when they interview him?
I don't know. You know, I'm tuning in to AEW tomorrow more to hear Sting talk than to see what goes on with this angle. I'm so happy I'm so happy he's back.
See, I'm really I'm excited to hear Sting because I think it'll be really good. I hope he shoots on WWE. That'd be kind of cool. But
I feel like he's not that kind of guy though.
He probably won't, but he should. And that was just a disaster.
Well, I mean, I've read articles how upset he was with the way that turned out. But that match with Triple H still, to me, I'm glad we got the match. I'm not happy with the outcome. Sting should have won, but I love the DX versus NWO thing. So I'm glad we at least
got that moment. That. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
We got that moment, even though the NWO has no business getting Sting's back.
Right.
It made
they would have never helped each other out. Right.
It made no sense.
We got that, but then WWE is so stupid they didn't do Undertaker versus Sting. Like, how stupid. Man. How do you not pull the trigger right when Sting arrives? That would have been the first match I would have done.
Yep. They wanted one last dagger to WCW. That's what they wanted.
Of course. They want Triple H to bury the whole roster.
Yep. And Sting, I give Sting credit for agreeing to that, man. Sting, to me, is one of the most, and I mean, it's not like I know these guys personally, but I feel like he's one of the most genuine guys that has ever been in the wrestling business.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I mean, the fact that he was the last guy to go to WWE and just, you know, he was in WCW the whole time, never went. He was the only guy who never switched, and I'm sure he regrets it to some degree because he always never wanted to go there.
I'm glad he didn't. I'm glad he stuck to his guns and didn't go.
Yeah.
I mean, he did. I mean, he did some great stuff in TNA, so I don't think he would have ever done that in WWE.
I want to see him in the ring. I want to see him. I want to see every part of him before these 2 years, whatever his deal is up, and we never see him again. And let me get one more run with him.
Here's another question. Do you think Impact do you think they'll include Impact superstars into the AEW video game?
Probably
Do you
not.
think there's a chance that even could happen?
Nah.
No. Okay.
Do you think there's a chance that they can include Impact superstars in their rankings?
That would be funny. Gosh. Well, Lucha Brothers and LAX can't even crack the top 5, so I'm not holding hope. They got freaking Private Party and Jurassic
We
Express.
gotta see Orange Cassidy versus Hornswoggle at some point.
I'm sure it's happening. Maybe even Johnny Swinger.
How about they got Orange Cassidy fighting MJF tomorrow, right? I think it's tomorrow.
Yeah, they do. Yep.
What are your thoughts on Orange Cassidy?
I don't get it. I think the gimmick kind of ran dry after the first 2 months. I think it was funny and all that stuff, but I don't know.
But don't you think you could kick his ass?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So I'm just not believable. It's just I need wrestling to be somewhat believable.
What about Shaquille O'Neal? Are you excited for his debut tomorrow?
Nah, I couldn't care less.
Yeah, I don't get that. Did you hear about Shaquille O'Neal's contract?
No.
He only re-signed with TNT, but he's got to be allowed to go to AEW and wrestle or something like that. Something weird like that.
Is he going to get in the ring and physically perform?
It's kind of what I've been hearing. Yeah, it's kind of what I'm hearing.
Okay, well that'd be better. I don't want to just see him talk. If he's going to actually do something, that's interesting. I think that's somewhat interesting.
Yeah,
hey,
that's what they're saying.
You know, we loved when Karl Malone and Dennis Rodman did it. So
we did.
I'm not gonna.
We do, but they were also still playing.
They were which is crazy that they were actually still playing in the league when they did that, and the fact that they were both so good.
Yes, and the fact that they were able to do that match right after the finals, which was amazing. Yep, you just never see something like that.
The fact that Dennis Rodman missed practice just to go to just to be on WCW.
Right, Nitro. Well, and they're both power forwards. Like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm cool. If Shaq gets in the ring, I'm cool with it. But so let me hear your final thoughts, I guess, on the Kenny Omega segment.
It's like on one side of me, I want to say that it wasn't good because nothing happened, but then the other side's like, okay, they gave us a couple things to say, oh, well, this could be it, or this is going to lead us onto something big. So it's so premature to judge it, but I think if you're just looking at it from a Tonight standpoint, it wasn't very good.
Does it make you want to tune in tomorrow?
Yeah, I think it does.
See, if it was anyone other than Kenny Omega, I'd be so much more interested. This guy does absolutely nothing for me. Nothing.
I think I'm kind of more interested to see what Callis does.
He's interesting.
Right.
Don Callis is interesting. Kenny Omega is not. And Kenny Omega should have been sitting in the middle of that conversation, not Don Callis.
Do you like Kenny Omega as a wrestler?
No, he doesn't do anything for me. I'm just I don't like him any more than I like anyone else. It's not like he sticks out.
Do you think Impact looked weak tonight with the fact that they kind of jobbed Rich Swann out, and then they, with all the jabs that they kind of took? Do you think they looked weak tonight, or do you think that helped with the story?
I'm glad you brought that back up, because I think Rich Swann, forget the actual match. Rich Swann, okay. Have you ever seen Pineapple Express?
Yes.
Danny McBride, the actor that he's been in a million movies. The guy that plays in Pineapple Express, the two main guys who they get in a fight scene with the drug dealer friend, and then he comes back in the end and tries to help them, and he just won't die. He just will not die.
Yes.
He's been in so many things. You know who I'm talking about, though, right?
Yeah.
He
God, it's
looked.
been a while
I
since I've seen that movie, but yeah.
look him up right now. Look up a picture of him. He looked exactly like the security guard that was holding Rich Swann
Oh,
back
yeah,
today
yeah.
from going through the
Okay,
door.
I know what you're talking about. Yes, yes.
he looked.
I know who
He
you're talking
looked
about.
just like Danny McBride. I'd literally look just like him. Rich Swann should have kicked his ass and walked right through the door,
No
not turn
kidding.
around and go the other way. What's he
Right.
leaving for? It was one guy. They should have at least had five guys guarding the door.
Right.
This is your heavyweight champion, and he turns around and God damn it, like
Right.
it's one
Right.
guy.
Yeah. They could have done that.
Kick
They
his
should have.
ass
They
and go
should
through
have
the
had like
door. And
6.
as you're going through the door, the bus is pulling away, right?
Yep. Yep. That would have been cool. Now that would have been cool. Like we don't even need an interview at that point.
Right. Then yes,
Yep.
and then Rich Swann's yelling, "Don't fucking come back to my show," or something like that. Like
That would
as
be
they're
cool.
driving away. I don't want to see you
Maybe-
on my show again. If I see you again, we're gonna have problems. Something, you know.
Maybe we'll get that.
Or
Maybe we'll get
Rich
that
Swann's
soon.
too much of a nice guy and can't do that.
Can't you? Yeah, maybe. You don't.
Eric Young would have said that. Eric Young would have said that.
So you're not looking forward to tomorrow. I mean, you're not like there's nothing that's going to make you tune in tomorrow. Besides the Sting stuff.
I mean, I can't wait to see Sting. But from this specific angle, I hope that it progresses. Sure, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna give it a chance. But it didn't.
Right.
I mean, it's unfair to judge them off of that horrible interview in the bus. It's just it's unfair.
We're right at the beginning of this, is how I look at it. So we got to let this. I mean, you know what?
But that was bad. That was a bad beginning, Hurls. Don't you? That was a bad beginning, man. Give us something. Name drop somebody.
Yeah, they got to do. Well, if they do something good tomorrow night, though.
But I'm concerned because it's pre-taped. That it would have leaked if the Good Brothers were going to be on it or something.
Well, Don Callis is going to be there. We know that. So
I'll tell you right now, if they filmed the segment and Rich Swann was there, I'd have more respect for Rich Swann and I'd be interested. But they're not going to do something like that.
So do you think there's any chance? Do you think Don Callis is the only guy from Impact that shows up tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I think it would have leaked if he wasn't.
What if it's backstage?
Well, if they filmed something completely separate, that'd be. I think the only other people is the Good Brothers that could appear on that show.
Yeah, because they weren't on Impact, so we don't really know what that's going to.
But they can make
lead
this
to.
so interesting, man. If someone like Ethan Page even showed up and started talking to Tony Khan and saying, "Hey, I'm not happy," like let his storyline intertwine or something
more.
Yes, that's interesting. Like, I feel like me and you could write this thing a whole lot better.
We could do a really damn good job. I'm willing to see where this goes though, because like they got my attention. It's like freaking I'm back in middle school when I couldn't wait to get home and watch Nitro and Thunder.
Well, then you know what? Then they did their job.
They did their job because I'm guessing and I'm going to be tuning in because it's like back-to-back nights. I got to see what happens with this.
If the Good Brothers appear, if something happens good tomorrow, then I'll change my. Well, I won't change my thought because I don't like Kenny Omega.
Well, something's gonna have to because this is we know this is a long-term storyline. Something's got to take place to the point where they have to keep you tuning in.
It can't just be Don Callis running his mouth again tomorrow. It can't be that 2 days in a row.
Yeah, exactly. They got to do something different. They have somebody from Impact show up on Dynamite. I don't care who it is. They have to do something.
Yeah.
So that's where I think I think we will get something, but the question is, what will it be?
Okay, so let's do this. Let's grade the actual Impact portion of the show, and then let's grade the last segment.
All right, so I'm gonna go solid B from the Impact stuff because I think they did pretty good. Just getting their big stuff in, and let's not forget this is a freaking go home show to their Impact Plus event. So a Final Resolution. So I think they did a B. I don't think they did anything that bad tonight, and I think it was pretty good stuff, match quality wise. So I'll say B. I think for the AEW stuff, I'll go C+ because I like some of the stuff. I like the, stuff with D'Amore. I like the Rich Swann stuff, and then I like the Tony
just
Khan.
the last segment. What do you grade?
Oh, the
just
last segment?
segment? Yeah.
D.
Yeah.
D.
Yeah.
He didn't even give us an appetizer. He gave us a freaking cracker or a little breadstick you get before you have a salad.
I think, inside joke, I think Leo would have been a better heel than Kenny Omega in this position.
Hell yeah, tight pants Leo, man. He would have done good stuff.
Gotta give Leo a shout out. All right.
And folks, if you don't know who we're talking about, we're talking about this past season, or this season currently of the Amazing Race, one of the teams, Leo and Alana, who got eliminated, and
he played a hell of a heel.
He did. He was the heel of the season. So,
okay, I'm gonna grade the Impact portion. I'm with you. I'm gonna give it a B because I thought the matches were good. I'm not gonna judge the storylines.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to change. This is what they are. So the matches itself, I thought were good. I'm ready to see Moose take the next step. That's it. And I want to see Brian Myers take another step. But other than that, I think the matches were good. I'll give it a B. And the last segment, I'm gonna agree with you on a D only because I thought Don Callis took it from an F to a D. If we're judging Kenny Omega's performance, I'm going F. He sucks.
Yeah, we just didn't get much. We didn't get much.
He sucks. I'm going to be straight up. He sucks. Is he believable to you? Do you believe him in any way when he talks, when he opens his mouth?
This guy, I don't really know him. Like, I didn't. That's the thing with me. I don't know how to judge him because I have nothing from the past. So I got to see more. I got to see more of him.
When he opened his mouth tonight.
No, he didn't. No, he was not believable.
He was reading from a script, or did you feel like this guy's a badass who I don't know what he's going to do next?
No, I didn't. Not at all. The believability factor, no.
That's it. And I don't know him either. I don't know him well enough either. But based on what I saw tonight, he looked like they told him what to say, and he just doesn't have that natural. Obviously, it's a stupid comparison to compare him to Hulk Hogan, but people were doing it tonight. So if you want to compare him to that, Hulk Hogan could cut a promo cooking eggs in the kitchen. He could cut a promo. So this guy needs to be told what to say, and he's just not. He's not. If you have Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff sitting on a couch, Eric Bischoff's going to say a couple things, and he's going to be really good at it. But Hulk Hogan's going to carry the promo and say what he's prepared to do. And he's prepared to take over this company, and he's prepared to take out anybody in his way.
Oh, yeah.
Kenny Omega just didn't. He failed. He didn't come off as a natural heel to me at all.
Yeah, and I think they could have done a little bit more. Like,
but if he can't talk, he can't talk. What could they do? If he can't talk, he can't talk. Right?
Yeah, and that's. I mean, at least they got Callis with them. That does help. But
yeah, he needs. Yeah. Okay, then he's Paul Heyman to Brock Lesnar.
You know what I did appreciate though was how Don Callis said this was like a big elaborate setup from all the way back to New Japan.
Yeah,
I kind of did like that.
Even though buy that.
Yeah, well, you do. I don't, but I liked how they incorporated it.
Yes, no, that's a cool callback.
Yep.
Yeah, it is, and him saying it is believable because he
he
knows how to sell something.
Yeah,
that's my thing with Kenny Omega. He's not selling me on the fact that he's this heel who's about to change the landscape of the wrestling business. He's not selling it to me. Jericho probably could, you know what? Even though he's in terrible shape, but I'd believe him.
Yeah, I'm glad it wasn't Jericho because it would have been too easy.
But what about MJF?
He would have been I've never been high on him.
Yeah.
I got to see more from him. Yeah, not even. Yeah, I got to see more of him. Dude, once he had that that singing portion, I was like, oh gosh.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Oh gosh.
What about I mean, I guess
Moxley, maybe.
but he's kind of a face, so it couldn't really
Yeah,
be.
he's a face. That wouldn't have worked.
So if it's got to be a heel, it's either Jericho, MJF.
Yeah, I keep hearing how great this AEW roster is, but we can only name 2 guys.
You know what? But if you're gonna take a clean guy like Kenny Omega's been clean, I believe, just from the small AEW I've watched, I think he's been clean up until this point. So if you're gonna take a clean guy and you're gonna turn him dirty and you're gonna try to make this a Hollywood Hogan type thing, it could have been anyone then. So you're right. Like, who's on that roster of noteworthy name that we'd all be interested in seeing take over another show?
Well, considering most of them,
they only have one. Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
I don't think they have another one. Maybe Moxley.
Yeah, Moxley, Jericho.
That's it.
I mean, we've already seen the Bucks in TNA, so it's not like.
Unless they did something cool with Brian Cage, but they clearly have no interest in making him a star either. So I mean, he's also lost to Tessa. Maybe he comes back and says, "You know what, you motherfuckers made me lose to Tessa. You know what?"
Dude, that guy though, like, dude, he got. You remember the show All In, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember they had that battle royal? Do you remember who eliminated him?
Oh my God, was it a girl?
Yes.
Who was it?
She's in the Knockouts Tag Team Tournament right now. This is before she even signed to Impact.
She was in AEW?
She was only on the All In show, which was technically not. It was like basically AEW before AEW, but not officially.
You're telling me this guy lost to Tessa Blanchard and got thrown out of a battle royal by a girl?
Yes. I think. I don't think this guy has a problem. It was freaking Jordan Grace. Jordan Grace eliminated Brian Cage at All In. Yeah.
Why don't I remember this at all? She appeared at AEW?
Not because All In, if you remember, it was just called All In.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, she eliminated Brian Cage in that Rumble. So,
Put a joke.
Yeah.
Poor guy. Yet he agrees to it, so it's his own stupidity.
Yeah, exactly. He could just pull an Eli Drake if he really wanted to.
And you know what? I got a lot of respect for him.
Oh yeah, me too. I don't know what Impact was thinking there.
He's nowhere right now. He's in NWA, but I respect
he's
the
sitting
guy.
in exile.
He refused to fight a woman. Good for him.
Yeah, I agree. And lose to one. But
because it's ruined Brian Cage for me. So you know what? They have AEW. We say Impact has no heavyweights. AEW is not that much better, and they've buried their talent, like you say, LAX and the Lucha Brothers. They've buried all these guys.
You know who I do like though, and he was kind of on a hiatus for a while, but now he's back. Is Pac. Neville from WWE, who's now called Pac.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
I like him. If we see him in a crossover, I'm not going to complain.
But he was what? He was a cruiserweight champ in WWE.
Yeah, right? He was.
So it's hard. It's so hard for me to differentiate, which is why Brian Cage will always be a loser to me. It's so hard for me to take away what people have done in their past and give them another chance. It's hard.
What about Eric Young, though? I mean, you remember his comedy past.
Yeah, but then they turned him into a serious guy after that. I mean, they kind of made up for it in some regard. AEW has not made up for Brian Cage. They haven't done anything with him.
No, you're right.
They haven't done anything with him. Pac, he's got more of a shot because he's taken a little more seriously.
He is.
Yeah.
Cuts a pretty good promo. At least I think he does.
And he's got a good look.
I like Pac. I wanted Impact to get him. So if he somehow comes on Impact through this partnership, I'll be pretty happy. Well, that'll wrap it up for tonight. We'll be back Thursday, though. Are you going to be joining us Thursday?
I will. Well, you know what? I'm going to see how
this turns out.
I'm going to see how tomorrow goes because I don't want to be. I don't want to be Mr. Negative on Thursday if I don't enjoy it. But I want to hear before we sign off. Give me your craziest, most outlandish thing that could come out of this storyline.
Oh gosh, I really hope it's not just Kenny Omega wins the Impact title.
Okay, wait. Let me take that back. Give me what you want to happen.
Jeez. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it basic because I don't know what I want to happen here. Because I don't know who's the good guy and I know who's the bad guy, but I don't know. I guess I just want like a war game style match. That's what I want.
I think that's where it probably will end up, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say I know we're running really long, but let's just say 4-on-4. We got a War Games match.
Sure.
Well, what is it? 4-on-4, 5-on-5?
You could go. Yeah, you could go either way. Usually 4-on-4, I think.
Okay, so who would you want to be in the match, real quick?
All right. So if we're doing just AEW versus Impact,
yeah,
gosh, well, you got to put Omega in there. Oh gosh, this is tough. Not okay. I guess I'd go MJF, Kenny Omega, Jon Moxley, Chris Jericho. No. Switch MJF out with Pac. That's what I want.
Okay, what'd you say? Omega, Pac,
Moxley, and Jericho.
Okay.
Yeah.
Taking on.
And then Impact, I want Moose, Eddie Edwards, Sami Callihan, and I think I'd go Eric Young.
Eric Young, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I think I'd go with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the Good Brothers. There's a lot of guys I excluded too, so.
But it's what you want. I mean, not what we expect, because we expect the Good Brothers to be in it. So I just wanted to hear what you want.
Well, if it's WCW 90, I think was that 99? No, 98. If it's 98 War Games, there'd be 3 teams, and then if there's 3 teams, it'd be some version of the Bullet Clubs.
One of my favorite matches of all time. I think it was a 4-team battle royal style match. I don't know if you remember this. It was one of my favorite matches ever, where it was Team WCW, Team NWO, Team Piper, and Team. Was there a 4th team, or was it 3?
No, it was 3.
The 4 Horsemen were a team, I think.
If it's 98, I just watched that one. It was 3. It was black and white.
This was from
red and white.
This was from Uncensored. Was it from Uncensored?
Oh, I gotta watch this then.
I feel like it was from Uncensored, not from.
Oh, from War Game, not from Fall Brawl. Okay.
No, I think it was Uncensored 90. It might be 97 or 98. I think it was Team NWO, Team Piper, Team WCW, and Team 4 Horsemen.
Oh, I gotta watch this.
And it was a battle royal style match, and then. Yeah, it was a battle royal between the 4 teams.
Oh, that does sound familiar.
Because the reason it's my favorite is because it was familiar with. It was almost the same as when what's the 3-ring battle royal, World War III, yes, where Lex Luger came down to the end with the entire NWO. Oh, if you remember that?
Yes. And I believe, this is ringing a bell.
I think either the Giant or Kevin Nash won it. I think it was the Giant. I think the Giant eliminated Nash and Luger right at the end.
Did you enjoy the Lex Express name drop?
Yeah, I did.
I was gonna say
I did. Oh, but
that's
but wait, no, you have to remember this because Dennis Rodman hit Luger with a spray paint can, and that's how they won the match.
Oh, geez. Now I gotta look this up because I
Yeah, you
got
got to
the
go find
network.
that.
So,
Go
wow.
find that. But I'm hoping. I'm gonna give you one last thought here. Is I'm hoping
Okay.
Sting is involved in this angle. That's my hope.
He'd be interesting because he's got history in Impact and
that's why. And I'm
you know
hoping
a
he
lot
says,
of history.
I'm gonna bring back a couple buddies. That would do it for me. I want to see Kurt Angle back, and I think Kurt Angle wants to be back in the ring, based on his tweets.
I would like to see. I'd like to see Kurt Angle sign with Impact and then be on the Impact side of things. And then
I want Sting. I want Sting to be on the Impact side.
I know. I
want it to be Sting, Kurt Angle, with like Moose and I don't know, even maybe Rich Swann or someone else that we're gonna make a star out of, and really put them over.
Right.
Yeah.
Somebody. That's fine.
And then they take on Jericho and I don't know, whatever goons he lines up.
Right.
Omega, Jericho.
Swagger or Jake Hager. Yeah.
Jake Hager, they made a joke out of him too, but
yeah. Well,
so that's it.
All right.
That's what I want to see. I want to see. I can't wait to see Sting, and let's see what happens with this angle.
Yeah, we'll be back Thursday to review Dynamite and see what other crazy shenanigans happens with this whole thing. But hope you enjoyed tonight's show, and we will see you then.